And it's a beautiful day.
I like this.
To have a beautiful day. GM. On this beautiful day. Good morning to Web3 with Barocco, Seth, and Mando. Tune in live at 10:30, and it's all on Road Radio. It's a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. GM. Rock Radio.
Yo. What up? Good morning, GM. Thursday, March 16th, 2023. Look at that. Another beautiful day to have a beautiful day. No, it's not shining. I got my co-host in the house. Where's the sun in Montreal? God damn it. It's been hiding. And Mendo's out there all smiles. He's a little tan and shit, chilling Tenerife. I love that. I can see the sun sparkling on his face. Even Ovi today in London. What's up, y'all? Good morning. How you guys doing, Ovi, Mando?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Yeah.
We have the full lobes out today. The full lobes are out.
Look at them glistening in the sun.
That's funny. Oh my God. Oh my GM Lander, GM James Rogers, Idol Alchemist, Z Pogi, Alex Escobar, Intoxicated, Rocky, Claudio, Dave, GM freaking everyone, Ryan Kramer, Freed Seed, the usual suspects out there on the YouTube. We see you. We love you guys. We appreciate y'all. Michael Panigas, G-Man, Camilla, everybody. GM to everybody in the Twitter spaces. Michael Sadowski, Sarah Script, Ash, Casey, Sneaker Dad, NB, Iona, KDEV, Hishmad, and everybody else. Dido, Q in the purple suit, Candice, and everybody else. Appreciate y'all for showing up every single day. GM Web3 Rug Video. Today on the show, today we got a big show. Yesterday night, I texted the boys. I'm like, guys, I sent the titles. There's nothing else for me to put. Within 30 minutes, there was like 7 other things to put. So I kindly, I went ahead and, maybe adjusted that a little bit this morning to reflect what's going on in the space. There's definitely a lot to talk about this morning on GM Web3, both on Twitter Spaces and on YouTube. So if you go to the pin link at the top or at the bottom right, we've also put sorry, the YouTube comments sometimes. But we've also pinned at the top or bottom right, put the YouTube link, while you bottom right, drop a retweet and drop a GM. You know the vibes as usual. Big shout out to J6C6 who did the new intro song. So it's 3 minutes every morning. We get the things ready. We pin the tweets from 10:30 to 10:33. Then we go into a jingle, and I love it. I love the sound. I love the coffee sounds in the back. We're gonna have to host J6 one day. Talk about his stuff because he's super cool and always does these jingles. He's done every single jingle on the show so far. Anyways, today on the show, today, spicy show today, most probably, is that's what it sounds like, because OSEF's favorite project dropped some golden socks. The summoning begun. D-Gods, Ordinals, Artifact, FUD, Voltura tweets. On Cyber integrates AI, super fire, by the way. Arbitrum token is here. Chaos with the Fair XYZ team, our title sponsor. We may or may not be dropping something on y'all today. Don't worry, completely free. It's going to be fun. It's big competition. We're about to find out which one of the 3 of us you like best. So be careful. You vote with your wallet. And of course, before all that, DGen's market report, as usual, crypto, market, macro, NFT. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right into it.
Daily Market Report. Brought to you by Rug Radio. Joseph, what's the word?
Hey guys, it's a bit of a mixed day in equity today. The S&P 500 is down 0.2%. The NASDAQ is up 0.2%. We saw similar moves yesterday. We actually bounced off the lows of yesterday after it was announced the Swiss National Bank would lend Credit Suisse, I think something like $54 billion to bridge that.
Just a bit. Just a little bit.
Just a tiny little bit to keep them going.
1 million out of that 54 million. Like, you know,
I told you, Switzerland's rich. They're not going to let Credit Suisse go, man.
I don't mean to cut you, but sometimes I daydream of something like that. Like, what if, like, in the between of a $54 billion transfer just mistakenly, like,
yeah, no, it's wild. So, yeah, we rallied back on that. It's interesting to see the S&P 500 actually underperform NASDAQ. Usually you see it the other way around, and that's because the S&P 500 has bank stocks and NASDAQ doesn't. So you're seeing, you're kind of seeing that play out there. Interest rates, we saw a ton of volatility yesterday. The 2-year is back to 3.9%, having been as low as 3.72% yesterday. So we're seeing interest rates come back. It's kind of a bit mixed, actually. What's happened is the curve has flattened quite a lot. So 10-year rates are actually down to 3.38%. So 10-year rates are actually lower and 2-year rates are actually higher. So you're seeing that curve invert, which is usually, I mean, invert even more. It's already inverted. And we had steepened out before when this whole stuff was going on. Something worth mentioning is oil. Oil is actually down a decent amount in the last week or so. We're down to $66. So that's the lowest we've seen oil since I don't know, 2021. It looks like it's the lowest we've seen oil since 2021. So lower than all of what it was for last year. And remember, that was a big driver of inflation last year. So that's something just to keep an eye on and worth considering. And then crypto, has been holding up pretty well. We're at 24.8K on Bitcoin. We're at 1650 on ETH. Bitcoin still leading the way, and altcoins have seen a bit of a bounce this morning. We're up about 5 to 10% across the board there. So a good bounce back in crypto. And I guess we talked about all this stuff, how like banks failing is good for crypto, etc. Another explanation for it is you're actually seeing the NASDAQ perform okay, while bank stocks specifically have been the things that have been hurt. So crypto has a lot of correlation to NASDAQ, and maybe we're seeing a move more in line with that. But we continue to perform actually pretty strongly there. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
I'm done talking.
Yeah, definitely are. I mean, I guess you're gonna have to wait you're gonna have a mouthful to talk about next week with FOMC, but it seems like for now we're just kind of waiting for that, right?
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see what happens there. I mean, Mando, you kind of called it with Credit Suisse. I mean, this is one of them that they can't really let fall behind. Just put it that way.
Yeah, but I think this highlights what I was saying before. 54 billion that they created. Not many countries around the world can do that.
No.
And there are other banks in Europe which are probably going to be in a precarious situation, and they're not going to have a 54 billion credit line from the government / central bank to immediately solve it. So I thought today's move by the EC, I guess people have to get a little bit smart in Europe again. But the ECB is basically the European version of the Fed. It sets interest rates throughout Europe. Europe is a slightly perplexing scenario where you have one currency, the euro, across most nations, but all the individual nations have their own fiscal debt. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's kind of different to the US. There's less ties on like a tax basis between the different countries. So when you have issues, often it takes a lot longer and it's a lot more political to kind of fix out. It's like if, I don't know, Montana went down and California decided that they didn't want to bail out Montana. That's what basically happens all the time. And they're just states out my ass. But I
was like, yeah, why Montana? Were you thinking about going to Montana or something?
Wisconsin.
It's another state where I have no idea where it is on the map. U.S. map.
Missouri.
Anyway,
I think that could be about to happen in Europe. The ECB raised rates by 50 bips, which is kind of a 50-50 shot going into this. People thought they might pull back, and that perhaps indicates what the Fed is going to do. There's a lot of questions about whether the Fed is going to raise rates by 25 bips. There's no doubt the ECB probably called up the Fed before they did this and probably asked, look, are you guys going to raise rates by 25 bips? And probably the Fed said yes. So they decided they were going to also continue with 50 bips. But Europe's in a pretty tough scenario, I think, now. And even as they raised rates, there was a lot of talk about how that they're going to try and step in to help banks. Now, that's a lot of rhetoric when it actually comes down to it, and you need to cough up tens, hundreds of billions of dollars. Normally, politics come into it, and it gets very, very feisty very, very quickly in Europe. And I think that's about to happen.
Well, I guess we'll see where that takes us. But it seems like on the crypto side, we're still hanging tight. Despite, I think, what was it? Bank stocks were not doing so well this morning. For that,
Yeah, look,
I'm using this link now you sent me the other day, Ovi, but it seems like it's a whole lot of red, of course. But on the crypto side, it seems like Bitcoin's up 1.6% on 24 hour. It's about a point as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It does still prove how valuable they are.
Wait, what's the sentence?
It's so bad it's good for crypto.
It's so bad it's good. I like that. You know what? It's going to become the sentence. It's going to become our hopium sentence throughout this entire banking crisis. And you know what? You're probably going to be right in the end. And I'm with it. And my money is on you being right. Let me tell you guys that. I mean, you guys know that, but my money is definitely on the side of Mando, hopefully being right. But anyways, all right. That's enough of the coin talk, because we got a lot of stuff happening on the NFT front. Let's get right into that.
Who is the man, macro daddy of the land? Can you dig it?
Yeah, GM everyone. So yeah, there's lots of headlines out of the NFT space over the last 24 hours. A lot of people getting annoyed, a lot of bad tweets, a lot of bad takes. It felt like across the board. And all those fallen angels that Ovi, as Ovi likes to call them, are just getting smoked. Firstly, there was some FUD around the CloneX merch. They are now down to roughly 3.5 now on CloneX. Then there was some FUD about Doodles, how they responded to, well, basically their North Star, their mission seems to have slightly adapted, and that's now at 3.5 for a Doodle. Which is pretty wild. I think Franklin had been the bid wall and turned around and sold like 50 this morning. So things not looking great there.
You have a crackling again, just FYI.
Oh, really?
Yo, I need a shot of that. Now I'm gonna keep it because for a second, man went like. Now you're muted.
So I've realized it's the mic. It's not the Rodecaster, because if I was using, I'm not using a Rodecaster right now, and it still did it with the mic. So
like half the time, yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with this mic? Like, this is like a good mic.
This is an expensive microphone. This is like the microphone every single professional podcaster goes for right away. The MV7 or whatever it is.
Did you get the one from like when you go on Amazon? It has like
Alibaba.
the new one.
Like that's what I got.
You were supposed to buy it on Amazon.com, not Alibaba or AliExpress.
I got sure Portugal coming through here.
You got the one that came in an e-packet from Shenzhen.
We used to make fun. You joke, but we used to make fun of Mando because he like his last laptop he like bought it from China or something, and it was like £100.
It was a really good laptop.
It was like literally the laptop he was using until about 3 months ago. Like,
no, come on.
That is so.
I'm too changed since then, but for a period in I think 2012, 2015, I had a laptop straight from Shenzhen for sure.
Camilla says the problem is Portugal. We already know. I met George in at Beeple Studios. And I gotta say, he told me that there's some people out there in Portugal are not happy about the jokes. So I personally am gonna cut him because I'm not trying to get beat up and murdered at the non-fungible conference. I have a beautiful life ahead of me. God willing, knock on wood.
One thing I would say is that Portuguese people are really nice, really down to earth.
They are. I can't wait to go, dude. I'm like
incredibly patriotic. Like, everyone from Portugal thinks Portugal is the best country in the world. So you coming in here,
that's a lot of countries, like in Italy and France. Like,
you don't get it in the UK that much, I would say, and even in the US, it's like 50-50. You get some really patriotic people and some people who just like hate the nation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, also 450 million people.
Even Canada, I think, as well, right? Like,
well, the thing with Canada is that we're from everywhere. Like, we don't like. You know what I mean? We're like the UN on the
Portugal. Everyone loves it. It's the best country in the world. which I absolutely love it, but
I can't.
you'll feel it when you come.
I can't wait. Look at this. I'm already getting them. You know, I'm getting. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
fix this in NFC. I mean, shit. I'm be rocking with some security out there. No, I'm just kidding. I actually that's the one conference I'm looking forward to the most all years. But anyways, back to this. So wow, Doodle. So yesterday we were seeing about how like it could be on the brink of going below 4.
They smashed through it.
Here we
Yeah.
are. They're tied up. It seems with Clonax here at 3.6. What else?
And that
man?
was in the back of a socks announcement that they did, which I think just got taken badly and was maybe
levels too.
a final nail in the coffin there.
Wait, what's the deal with socks? What happened? I missed that.
So
just next physical drop.
No, digital.
It's digital socks. Come on.
Basically, your favorite project, though, Seth. It was this tweet 22 hours ago. Gold socks. Secure full stock collection, one of each of the 12 types by March 30 at 12 p.m. ET. If you do, we'll drop you a pair of gold socks. How many full collections can be there? Between 29 and 158. Finding hollow socks is the key. Official link, stockpiling the doodles.app. So that is what sparked everything. I mean, look, there's like 500,000 views on the thing.
Wow.
So that's what sparked the whole convo. But then what's happening now? Sorry. That's what I saw this morning, and literally, like, I think everyone was sharing time. Like, I could just scroll here and I'll probably find it, unless I've already seen them all.
I think
But it was a tweet from Poopy. Actually, probably going my For You.
It's a Discord
I don't think it
message,
was a
right?
tweet. It was in the Discord.
There's a Discord message. There it is. See, look, you barely have to scroll. It's there. And it says, so Poopy in the Discord. That's what's got people going this morning. He says, we're trying to go from a startup to a leading media franchise. We are no longer an NFT project. The more time, money, resources we invest in following the latest building public trends that fuel speculation, the less we have to achieve our long-term vision. We are not going to spend any resources appeasing those with financial motivations. We never have and never will. If we are going to focus energy on any group of people, it will absolutely be to our most loyal followers. Which then NFT Press said, Poopy, buy my doodles. And he replies, Floyd, and get the fuck out. Discuss.
Yeah. So I think it's tough because we've all been in that scenario where I've lost my cool at times. You've lost your cool. Like this feels reactionary as a thing, and being in the Discord, speaking to holders when they're all angry can sometimes bring out bad responses.
I've definitely already offered to buy someone out of the project in the Discord.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
I didn't say floor it. I said sell it to me. Like I've offered to like buy them out.
So I think we've all had that reaction when like people are just coming for you. But I think let's peel this back a little bit more. Like there's definitely a shift here, which was they don't see this as really an NFT project anymore. They see this as their brand / company, and they're trying to change the world with that, and that's their focus. And then if that benefits, they think that's the best thing that will benefit the NFTs, I think. And there's some like fair points here. Like you can't just chase the latest trend. You can't just chase like we're going to become checks today, or we're going to become X today, or we're going to like. But at the same time, it just feels a little bit like NFTs, in my eyes, are a co-creation between the founders and the community.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's not. It's and then to be like, right, down the line, this feels very founder centric as a way to move rather than community centric necessarily, or at least like taking into account the community. I think this has been, you would have been blind to not see this coming for a while with a bunch of different projects. And I think, we've been kind of vocal about that, maybe not even naming names, but it's very obvious to see the ones that were going down this route.
Definitely been vocal about it without naming names. That's for sure.
And so I think it'd been obvious that this had probably been the route that was happening, but to spell it out, so I don't know, I would say confrontationally here, that's not going to end well. That's not going to end well.
It's already not ending well right now. It's not happening well as you see the timeline. If you break it down here, I just think the way he he probably is what this was for sure reactionary tweet for what it's worth. And we've all been there. It feels like Poopy though has been there a few times. Like I feel like we've all been there once, maybe twice, but this feels like it's been multiple times now. That's why people are like pointing out. Look, when he says we're no longer an NFT project, obviously like NFT MFers are like, because look, this space is like filled with Neanderthals who just found out that there's revenue streams outside of secondary volumes, and people who just like learned that how to like make fire with sticks and shit. Okay, like let's be honest. Right? So Neanderthals or whatever the fuck the word is. Listen, stop it. Okay, and then we need to make a compilation, Jazz, of
We didn't even pick that up. He thought you were just speaking French there for a bit.
But the crazy thing is like people. So on that, what I'm trying to say here is like when he says we're no longer an NFT project, what he's trying to say, I think, is something that we feel in a way. It's like we've gone from project to business, and I talk about this a lot. You know, when you go from 0 to 1. So originally, your little NFT project, mom and pop shop, and you grow into becoming a full-blown business ecosystem, whatever it is, right? Like I like to think that we've gone through this process, but we're still an NFT company and we're still an Ethereum company because we're right. Like this is where our operations are, right? So it's probably like the way it was said and the way it's received by people that also a lot of people want to use any little slip up to dunk on you when you're in a certain position and they'll use it against you. Now, like, you know, like even Ben White, I saw him tweet, he's like, damn, if my founder says that, I'm down. Sell me your doodles. And you know what? Like some people on the flip side like that because they want to be part of a big brand. But I think the problem is, and again has been, is when they say the more time, money, resources we invest in the latest building public trends that fuel speculation. That's not true. That's just all communication. And I'm at a point where, like we've said before, like any founder out there that thinks they're too big to communicate with following and with their audience and with the holders, and any founder out there that claims that communication is tough, maybe you shouldn't be a CEO or at the top of at the lead of a project. And that's not aimed at Poopy at all. It could be aimed at anyone. We've had communication slip-ups, I'm sure. A lot of projects have had, but like there's no excuses to bad comps. Just hire someone. Especially when you raise at a $600 million valuation. I think that's the main criticism that people are making.
This feels like
it's actually wild.
Like,
why do NFT people have trouble communicating? Did you guys not communicate in Web 2 or Web 1 or wherever the fuck you're outside of the space? Like, why you come into the space and all of a sudden you lose communication skills? Like that was my thought last night. Genuinely,
an issue with doodles for like.
But why? They hired a bunch of people. Right? They said we hired these people. They hired Austin. They hired a bunch of people. They said now we're going to fix communications. And they also said the reason we don't tweet. Remember, we were saying they didn't tweet for 50 days. They said the reason we don't tweet is to make the big announcements more impact, like with a bigger impact. But this is the big announcement. Like, you know what I mean? So I understand why people are annoyed. Like I rode my doodle from 15 ETH down to 3 ETH here, and I'm fine with it. So it's fine. I don't give a shit. But I think I've done that for a lot of these blue chips. But it's just like, you know, they nailed the events. We've all talked about this. They're one of the best at that. They've nailed a lot of the fact, but this is the stuff people don't like, you know?
So why, let's bring it down to first principles. Like, why do you buy an NFT project now as a collector?
That's a question. Honestly, well, there's one part that would be for the art. That's
what do you fuck like? Why are you like, yeah?
I think there's two things now. It's just like you buy something because you want to collect it, for the art, or you buy something because you want to be part of a community,
right?
And that's really it. I think there's a lot of this like, oh, I buy the 17, and these guys are going to change the world. And I think people are now finally, after a long time, and after us saying this for a long time, are kind of like waking up to what that actually means. And again, like Poopy saying we are going from a startup to a leading media franchise, we're no longer an NFT project. He is telling you literally the things that we've been saying on the show for the past 6 months and 9 months. And it's just very clear that was their strategy the whole time. And I'm still confused why people are upset, because they've been very transparent about their communications and they've been very transparent about how they're going to do things. And it's obvious that you were going to end in the situation. And it was obvious to me what the actions they were taking were not going to be actions that would drive value to the NFTs. It would be driving values to investors. And look, in their defense, I think the building in public thing, I think, is a very tough thing to do. I actually think no one should really do that. I don't agree with that necessarily. Even Yuga don't really build in public, right? They just don't do anything, then you get the announcement. So for other projects to like start hyping things and saying things in public, I think you're running the risk of actually over-promising and under-delivering, which is a problem that all three of the Fallen Angels, Doodles, Moonbirds, and Clinics have all had. overhyping, I think, is the problem they've all had. And so I think their strategy to now do that quietly is actually a good strategy. And them being honest about their intentions is a good thing, because now it's more clear to people if they weren't already clear about that before. And at the end, he does say, like, if we're going to focus energy on any group of people, it will absolutely be our most loyal collectors. And I think the stuff they've done with, like, by not by disadvantaging, or not giving OG doodles like the benefits they should have had, I think they're probably taking that on board. And to be honest with you, like, I've hated doodles, not hated doodles, that's strong. I've disliked doodles and as an NFT investment, if you like, for a long time, and everything that I thought has played out now. But at this point, if anything, maybe it's interesting because I think they have an idea of like what they need to do, and I think they're moving away from the whole building public thing, which I think is a good thing. And they're actually a good team of good builders. Like, they've created and done some cool stuff, and you have to give them some credit for that. They've just misdirected those energies and focuses, I think, in a way that hasn't been effective. So I'm not saying like, hey, you should go and buy doodles now at 3.5 ETH, but at this point in time, I kind of am like rooting for them to actually turn it around. I think it's cool to see projects get destroyed and bounce back, and they have hopefully a war chest to do that. And like, people reacting to certain people that way is not great, but everyone has been in a position at some point in time in the space where you get provoked and you just kind of snap, and I can understand why he's losing it. But if I'm them, I'd be like, let's just fucking like kitchen sink everything. Here's what happened. Here's what we're doing now. Either you like it and you stay. If you don't like it, sell your deals and fuck off. And then we're going to go out there and do what we want to do, and assess out to do what we want to do without other outside influences. And that, in my opinion, gives them the best shot of succeeding, and they can just actually focus on their vision and what they want to do. So we'll see what happens from here. And I think they've made mistakes. I think they are conscious of it. And now is like a real test of whether their actual idea as a business plan will work or not.
Yeah, look, I think that I agree with you up until the point where you said, yeah, I think it's maybe a buy now. I just feel as though like meme reversion in NFTs doesn't really happen. So like, don't look at it as a 10 ETH project now at 3.5. I would just look at it as a 3.5 ETH project. And because often there's massive positive momentum in NFTs, so they continue to go lower and lower and lower. There might be a lower band at some stage, but I wouldn't look at it like, oh, it's going to go back to X level. What I would say is I agree with everything else that you said, though. And I think for me now, I just think that community and community building is the only utility really for these profile picture projects, except maybe Yuga Labs, like except as an exception. And if you're going to be a profile picture project, you've really just got to only put community and community building first, and everything else that you were planning on doing, I just think it can't be a focus. And that's sad, I think, for a lot of projects, because I think they always have these like more broader goals. But I'm telling you right now, for Rec Guy, for example, if we start announcing random utility things, it might get some initial pump, as it did with all of these projects, right? They all started announcing utility things, but then at delivery or execution, or maybe like utility 2.0, it just wouldn't work as well. And I'm just starting to think that it can only really be community, and community building is the utility. Now there are other projects, like I look at Rug Radio and I look at, for example, Degens, and I think they can have utility, but the utility has got to be linked to potentially outside revenue sources, where the community itself is not the consumer. So like if you're going to start delivering utility like we do for Rug Radio, we have sponsors of the show. It works as a business, and yet we also have the community building. Degens also works with outside revenue sources, sponsors. And I feel as though that's how a community can work. But if you lose that North Star of this community and community building and go down another route where eventually down the line, the utility is going to make your collectors, the consumer, in any way, it just fails.
I just think like, I think the Doodles team had a vision, they had a plan, and that plan is not what the holders expected, or not what the holders understood. And once again, like, their plan was very clear to me, and that's why I never bought any doodles. But holders, there seems to be a mismatch between like what holders expected and the plan they want to execute. And in fairness to them, it's like, we want to build a big media company. Fine, like there's nothing wrong with that. Go and build a big media company. And maybe their communication wasn't clear enough to people to understand that. And you're right, like consumers versus collectors, and they're basically telling you, we want to build a big media company and have consumers. Again, there is nothing wrong with that. Like that is just there's
Did you
all
need
of
to
us consumers. Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a 25 ETH to do that and raise like from A16Z a massive or a 7.7? Like the problem here is, you know what? I'm gonna have to say for the first time, it's rare, but I agree with what Omakase Master Chef tweeted at me on a response. I said cream rises to the top, happens to every industry. You're about to see it more and more over. And he says cream does not rise in factory farmed homogenized milk. Only, he said, only in organic unhomogenized milk. So your metaphor is not applicable in this industry in its current state. And I just read that before going on the show, and it's, I gotta say he's right. Like, you know what I mean? Like you've and that's pure milk. I'm definitely not gonna spill factory farm homogenized milk over my head. I don't think that's good for my hair, but you know, it's a lot of these projects lost their North Star and lost their communities the second they started going a certain route of like, you know, peak bull market, raising a fuck ton of money, and then forgetting like about their core community. Like it's actually wild. Like I know a lot of, and then they say we're gonna cater to the people that actually care for us, but these are the same people that are like not happy about what's happening. And so I think it's like I don't know. Like I know it's easy to like always blame holders and say, yeah, all you guys want is like is your assets to go up. But sometimes I feel like we've had this conversation 15 times. Like it's like, and this is not a doodles thing. It's proof. It's artifact, and I'm homies with them, but it's the same thing with regards to communication. There's been some, you know, lack thereof over there, and people were not happy about it. You know, though they deliver product, but it's just like, you know, it's just people are just, you know, I feel like there's this rebalancing happening in the space at the moment, and all of the tweets are about like all these blue chips or
it's fucking crazy. Like Moonbuzz is at 3.5, Doodles
And-
is at 3.5, Clonex is at 3.5.
it's crazy. It's actually crazy. Like
It is, but it's crazy. But is it that crazy? Like
it's not. It is, and it's not at the same time.
from what you're getting from
The
any
only
one
reason
of
I'm
those
saying I
things.
bring it out again is because this is just. Sorry, that was a response to you saying we've spoken about this so many times, but this is just a crazy move over the last 2 months, right? Like they have been destroyed.
Not surprised, man. Not surprised. We've been saying it.
I mean, it's yeah. I mean, it's
saying
not,
it.
we've been saying it without naming projects. Is like you could have seen things like that happen. I mean, we've held all these projects and seen it happen. When you're like, I guess when you talk about the same topic every day, not same time, but same industry every day, you get to see things from a different perspective, or you see it like a certain way, and it's just like you could see this race down. I mean, of course, like the whole blur thing is not helping the race down because there's more liquidity on the floor and whatnot. People can get out of projects like this very fast at size as well now, but it just seems like there's like this like thing happening in the space, which there's like with Moonbirds or it was with Artifact, and whether it was with Doodles here, that, you know, it's just a common pattern. And so I think that we're gonna see a whole new set of like fucking, we call them blue chips, whatever chips, man. Just solid projects. It's kind of blue chips. Call them fucking proper brands. I think of a crop of proper brands with proper, like with the great founders that have come out on top in the next few years. That's just what's gonna happen.
But is this brand thing is the thing that may be hurting it?
What?
This concept that we start to now think of them as brands, I think just makes the founder think like it's a commercial activity. We've just come on here and said, if I'm looking for a new NFT project, the only thing I'm looking at is if the founders look like the sort of people that will be able to build a community and perhaps build out the tools that will, you know, help build that community. The moment you start talking about brands and stuff is like when it changes. The reason why I think Sappy Seals or Pudgy Penguins have done well, like in some ways, it's because those founders are turning up far more than the fact that I think this is to be some brand that they'd be able to sell goods at. And going forward, that's what I'm going to be thinking about. It's just like, right, are these the sort of founders that we think are going to be showing up each day and being able to maintain a community and look to try and have those things that, you know, in terms of communications or structure, that can help bring the fun back to just community building, right? Jack Butcher's shown how you can just bring some fun back to this. The brand stuff has to be seen as a byproduct, in my opinion. I'm not going to look at any of this stuff and think, oh, that could be a good brand that you could sell sneakers for, because that's been the fallacy, I think, that's been sold. Yuga's done it, but that's just like, it has to be considered its own real thing because it was the first. But whenever anyone mentions to me, I think this is a brand that people will buy into, I'm just like, yeah, that's not what I'm looking for now. All I'm looking for is founders who I think are good founders who show up, who, you know, are smart. They know how to have fun with their community, in terms of events, in terms of maybe even drops that are like fun. I'm not looking for someone that thinks this is going to be a great brand that I can sell.
I don't know. A lot of people are thinking they're going to be big brands outside of Web 2 as well, when they don't understand that there's massive brands that are already like selling like billions of dollars of plushies and a bunch of different things and toys and whatnot, and that are probably like I feel like a lot of the NFT projects are trying to compete in the wrong area too, and trying to build something that's already been built in Web 2, but with the Web 3 touch. But now they're saying they're not an NFT companies and they're trying to break out of Web 3. It's just like, I just don't understand. I think a lot of brands have just lost the North Star. Like, I think the biggest criticism on Moonbird is that they lost the North Star, right? And they weren't sure. And then they canceled projects, they canceled conference, they canceled this. Now it's about art. So it's just like, it's when it gets confusing to the holder as per what the mission and the ethos is. Like, I think it's fine to like want to change the ways in which you do things, because you always have to adapt and change, especially in a space like this that changes very fast and goes very quick. But you should never lose your ethos and what you started with and what you started for. It's just like when Gutter Cats last week or 2 weeks ago said like the first roadmap apparently was a whole bunch of things that they put together and they didn't even mean that. Like, it's, you notice the pattern is when the North Star changes, and when like you changed what you originally sold the NFT for, it's gone, because you made a promise to people and that's what they bought into your community for. So if you're bait and switching them into something else, like the people who bought Moonbirds at some point, they didn't buy it to be the art collectors. Probably some of them couldn't care less, but now they're being told that your PFP is now representative of being an art collector. A lot of people just don't care. A lot of people in this space don't give a fuck about the art, but a lot of people really care. Like the people are on stage right now, Bharat, Ryan, I'm going to do you guys in a second, but it's just like, there's like, you know what I mean? There's like the whole NFT utility space here. And by the way, this is not, I think none of this convo has to do with like the art side of NFT. So let's put that aside. But with the NFT utility space is completely in shambles right now, because a lot of them are realizing that maybe they shouldn't have tried to deliver all this utility or drop all these NFTs on people fast. And a lot of them with VCs and whatnot were just on the race to make the more revenue. It was like, you try to do so much revenue in year one that you're burnt in year two and you can't sell shit anymore. And there's no value to your stuff. Like literally that's what's happening. Imagine selling tens of millions of dollars of NFT, 10, 20, $30 million of NFTs to an audience in the first 6 to 12 months. What do you sell for the next 3 to 5 years? What do you sell in your 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Do you just keep going? 10 million a year, 20 million a year? Because your VCs are going to want you to do that. So like, where do you go from there? You know, maybe less greed. You asked me, you put on the timeline, you said, what's the issue right now with most projects? I forgot what I told you, but you told me greed was
the lack of leadership. Which is
a lack of leadership. There's definitely a lack of leadership, but you said greed, and you're right. You're right. But anyways, just quickly, I do want to, because I did tell Ryan and Bharat to pull up at 11 a.m. I'm so sorry about that, y'all. This conversation is good. We have Bharat Cremo, legend, and Ryan, founder of On Cyber, and we had put you guys in the titles yesterday because On Cyber announced a pretty cool integration of AI. We were talking about ChatGPT 4 yesterday, and we went over it with Ovi a lot and talked about different things. I'm gonna share on the screen in a second if you're watching us on YouTube. By the way, we are always live on YouTube in the morning, sharing stuff on screen if you want, it's pinned at the top. But On Cyber had quite the announcement. I mean, talk about a company in the space that's like delivering fucking dope shit, right? And that's always on top of it. On Cyber yesterday tweeted, introducing a GPT-powered AI tool for text-to-world building. Here's a sneak peek where your creativity can flow from your brain to Web 3D. Stay tuned for public access. Notifications on for public access. It's pretty cool. Ryan, Bharat, good morning. How y'all doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Really good to be here.
GM, guys.
GM. I mean, I'm sure you guys got a mouthful to say about what's happening in the space right now. Bharat, what do you think is actually you're always a source of such great insight. what do you think is going on right now in the NFT utility sphere? What do you think is driving all these prices down and like a lot of anger, FUD, or maybe it's not FUD actually. I don't think it's FUD, but criticism and whatnot.
I think it's the rightful washout, right, of the excess of the last 18 to 24 months. I think folks that have been in it for the wrong reasons are now just, they're exiting, right? And collections that set expectations a bit or way too high are now being, reassessed. I think the whole aspect of the FOMO over the last 24 months is being wrung out. And it's a good thing, right? It's a really good thing for the space. We got to bottom out or we're never going to start the process of rebuilding our way forward, right? So I think it's actually very healthy. I think it's important for people to realize what the ethos of the space is, as you mentioned, and it's art is the utility and anything else is an expectation. And you're probably better served, going and investing in or gambling your money versus, looking at, utility out of projects here. I mean, that's just the bottom line. There are very few companies that have pulled it off within Web3, right? And have gone to zero and grown. And we know a few of those folks, right? I won't mention names here, but there are folks who've done it, but it's more impossible than not.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting dynamic, Bharat. I mean, you've definitely positioned yourself well by just collecting a bunch of art. but it's I don't know. I just think it's I think it's the great rebalancing of the space happening right now. We kind of said it at the beginning of the year and end of 2022. We're talking about how over this year in the middle of the bear market, which is making it really hard, and people definitely can't go and have $20 million sales anymore like that, unless you're you guys selling ordinals. But it's it's gonna disincentivize a lot of these founders and their backers, investors, and whatnot from like, I don't know, building for the space, and they all want to build outside of the space. But even outside of the space, I'm sorry to break it to y'all in the echo chamber. They all think we're crazy and we're all a bunch of scammers. Like there's like a whole Operation Checkpoint is in full effect with regards to crypto and the U.S. government trying to take us down in full fucking effect. Okay. And NFT, even my normie friends see NFTs as like a full, like, even especially now that there's no liquidity and like the market's down. Like, so I'm sorry to break it to y'all. Like, you might want to like double down on this community right now. The people are still here because those are the people that will uplift you and go to war with you for the next coming years because they believe in the fucking mission. Like, too many people are focused on the wrong person. Like, all these projects are focused on getting out there and converting people who hate NFTs, who don't even have a wallet yet. They don't even own Bitcoin yet. And you want them to buy ETH and buy your NFT that is down 90%. That's how they see it. I understand why most NFTs are down 90% because ours are down because I see the market. But like these people, they see a chart, they see it down and see, why would I be buying that? And why is this called this? They laugh at us. So like, that's the thing. I think many founders just focused on the wrong thing. Double down the fucking people that are in here, and that those people will go and onboard those next people for you and with you. It's crazy to me. But anyways, Bharat, Ryan, you dropped some bombs yesterday on the timeline with On Cyber and AI. I mean, Ryan, why don't you break the news down for us? Because I thought that was really cool. And Mando talks to me a lot about AI. And I think, Mando, I think you've given me the bug, bro, because I'm all over it now. Ryan, talk to us about this announcement from On Cyber.
Yeah. I mean, I have to jump on a meeting right after this.
Shit. I'm sorry.
Basically, no, all good. Basically, I mean, like we talked about it last time I was here. Like the goal for On Cyber has always been to be like that place where creators can feel like they can create anything that's on their brain. And so like we've been building a foundation of like this Web 3D engine, like based off of WebGL and the web, and based off of Web3. And I think, I mean, it only makes sense now that we want to let people like create whatever they might imagine or think about, that like we dumb down the UX to a simple prompt. Everyone's been playing around with ChatGPT and like since the last 3-4 months. And I've always been very like hopeful for when we would be able to play around with it, because I think that a tool where, I mean, like right now it's just like the basic curation things and like some world building settings that you can change with ChatGPT, and we've been testing that internally, and we'll get more and more people on the early access in the next few days. But the fact like where this is going is basically going onto a blank canvas and getting whatever dream you might have in your head and like translating it into a 3D world that's breathable, livable, and you can bring people and do meetings and at some point even like play games or just play scripts. And so yeah. And so I think like this is really a first step. But yeah, very, very hopeful. Like when it's out, it's a really dope product. You guys will love it. Like it's pretty crazy what you're able to do already right now with the tech we have available. So only hopeful for when like this is a train we're catching, and like the same way we caught the Web3 train, we're catching the AI train as well. Like where we see is a good fit. And like it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
I love that. I was actually talking on the night show with Deez and the boys saying how I really want to build an on cyber gallery for all my Pepes, but I was a little lazy because you have to add like hundreds of them. And now I can just go and maybe put, hey, like add all my frogs into this gallery. Hey, make them all 20% bigger. I thought that was really cool. I mean, Ryan, while I have you just one sec, because I know you probably got to go to a meeting. Like, you know, when can we expect? I don't know if you can say the dates right now, but when can we expect this to be rolled out? Do you guys already have sort of a date?
Yeah, I mean, over the next few days, we'll be rolling out like more early access to like people from the community, people who commented on that post. Like, so like if you can go on the On Cyber page and check the post, like whatever you comment there, because we're also adding Web 2 type of login, so that anyone do world building, because we think it's the coolest thing you can do on a browser. And so like over the next few days, we're going to open up and just like keep improving as the community tells us to do. Like one thing you've been speaking about projects that like went up and down and everything. I think one thing that we've been really good at is kind of under promising and over delivering over time. So I think this feature is probably like the first time we ever announced something before it's out, but that's because we wanted early access people to kind of see what it's made of. But yeah, like we're just gonna keep on that vibe and keep on building according to exactly what people want us to do. And so really excited about this. But Bharat is like very, very well positioned to speak exactly the way I'm speaking. Like the whole team is almost like one brain with a bunch of bodies. Like we're very, very well synced, and we kind of all know where this is going and where this could go. But like really, really happy to have been here. I really have to jump to. So
thank you, Ryan.
Much love to everyone. Love you guys.
We'll pick Bharat's brain. We'll pick Bharat's brain.
Please do. I do it 24/7. So please, like, you go ahead.
You're lucky. You know, I was talking to Ryan in Miami, Bharat. He was like, I can't believe I managed to get someone like Bharat. He was shocked.
Yes, and still think the same. See you, everyone.
Bye, Ryan. Speaking of great, that's personally, I know Ryan's a friend, but I met him in the spaces. So that's definitely a founder I definitely look up to when it comes to everything. I remember we had a special guest, Ryan, a few months ago, and that was a cool episode that made me, switch a few things that we were doing internally. I thought that was cool. But Bharat, talk to me more about the use of AI. I mean, yesterday we had the show, we were talking about ChatGPT-4 and then we talked about, I mean, like a bunch of different integrations. And right after the On Cyber news came out, I mean, you know, how do you see, you know, AI play out in a space like ours?
Oh man, that's such a great question, right? I think what you're seeing is the shift from theoretical concepts to what I call applied AI, right? So it's the idea of using AI in your workflow and doing things with it that actually make pragmatic sense, right? So what you're seeing with, you know, the On Cyber announcement is how you can actually, you know, start world building, right? If you think about like concepts of, you know, thoughts to inception and the idea of like just unlocking the brain and the concepts that you have and the imagination you have, when you apply that to ChatGPT and you apply it to how you could, you know, custom prompt to build, for example, the Eiffel Tower on one side of a street and have the Las Vegas Strip on the other side of the street. You know, these are concepts that you can now prompt and have those be built, right, in real time. So that's kind of the power that gets unleashed. But more importantly, if you think about AI and blockchain, it's like the yin and the yang, right? So AI is like the yin, blockchain is like the yang. In other words, like the whole aspect of provability, the idea of, you know, how you're going to ensure that you avoid deepfakes, all of those things kind of become super critical, right? So you can't have effective AI and applied AI in the future without having some kind of underlying provenance that's blockchain related, right? So we are at the perfect intersection point of this historic, you know, technology transformation, right? So, you know, in many ways, I think it's super important for the space to get back to first principles around how they think about applied AI and where it fits into their use cases as they develop new capability, right? It's going to transform the world, right? People that are in management are going to be eliminated. People that are developers are going to be eliminated, right? People that are creators are going to be eliminated. The question becomes, how do you play judo and actually be a part of that process versus fight it? Because, there's going to be a natural motion that happens here, and, getting on the train is going to be just as important, right? So understanding it, mastering it, making it a tool that augments what you do is going to be critical.
Yeah, I think what you guys are building is super cool. I've always been a fan of On Cyber, but it's actually fun to see how we can integrate AI. I mean, yesterday we had a great conversation around that and how I think a lot of companies could like use it to better everything they're building. But I think it's definitely fascinating. I mean, OSF Mando, you guys are with me on the stream here. I don't know if you had any questions for Bharat with regards to On Cyber, what they're doing, or I mean, while we have Bharat, maybe we could pick his brain on some of the recent stuff in the NFT space.
The AI thing is a strange one, because in a world where you're able to do the job of so many different people, how do you create a moat? Like, how do you actually create value? Like, if I can be 1,000 different professions with a few clicks of a computer screen, how does that mean anyone has value? And I think what you're saying there makes a lot of sense. Like, I think you've got to work out how it can make you into the top 1% of the craft that you're potentially in, and you're going to have very, very specialized, incredibly strong people in different roles. That's the only way I can see this really working.
Yeah,
you need to become incredibly specialized in what you're doing, and then I think you can become the 1%. Like, there's that classic scenario of when the radio was created or when TV was created. I remember reading something like all the like local singers that you'd see or local entertainment died off because people just didn't watch it. And what you ended up having was the top 1% of an entertainer, or the top 1% of a singer became much, much bigger. And did everyone, there was the similar sort of feeling like, oh, this is killing their jobs. Like, why has this happened? And now it feels like that's going to happen to pretty much every profession out there. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it just means that any advice I would give for anyone even in any profession is try and be in that top 1% of whatever you're trying to do, or else there's not really a point, because AI feels like it's going to be able to make people mediocre at most things.
Yeah, I mean, Mondo, you nailed it, right? Don't fear it, embrace it. I think any technology disruption over the last 4 decades, right, has always been sort of met with fear at first, and then there's the slow adoption. And people always think of the most extreme outcomes, right? They think of like, hey, this is going to be the end all be all, but it really doesn't become the end all be all, right? And there's some happy medium where there's an intersection of tech with creativity that unlocks a whole new set of paradigms. And that's the key thing, right? How do you abstract this? How do you make it part of a platform? Because at the end of the day, all of this AI is great stuff, but it's unstructured, right? In many ways, there's no sort of cohesion. There's no stack. There's no platform integration, right? So there are always these concepts that are going to have to be the underpinnings of how you deliver that end value to a user, to a community, whatnot, right? So, just think about where you can apply yourself in that value chain and then make it a better outcome for you. But don't fight it, right? My recommendation is not to fight it. That's probably the worst thing you can do.
No, that's true. I mean, you have quite the tech background now with On Cyber. I think it's super cool. No, you're absolutely right. And I think you make a great point. But anyways, so where are we at right now? So we were so deep in that convo, and then I feel so bad for Ryan. I texted him like, yo, come at 11. But we got so carried away with the doodles, moonbirds, artifact conversation, and everything else. God damn it. Let me go back to my titles.
So with On Cyber, is it basically going to be a tool that allows you to create worlds, or is it going to be like a communication tool? Like, how exactly do you see the first use of AI On Cyber?
Well, the first use of it is going to be, creating worlds, right? So the whole concept of, prompt to inception, right? The idea of being able to sort of leverage that as a way of, first, for example, like, I want all these Pepes uploaded. The example that Farouk used earlier is the perfect one, right? I've got all these in my wallet. I want all of them put up, and their Siri is sort of responding at the same time. But also, being able to resize objects, to be able to sort of place them in a certain way. the idea of being able to do a lot of that algorithmically sort of enhanced, outputs is what is going to be the first use case, right? But there's a lot of advanced use cases that we're thinking about in the workflow itself that even build upon that, right? So, the first few are going to be very experimental, but we have a lot of thoughts around like this entire sort of custom world development and scripted sort of approach to how we roll out new capabilities that get integrated, as you sort of build into the on-cyber experience itself.
That's fucking sick. I can't wait to be able to finally put all my frogs in one gallery, Bharat. I was talking to one of your folks at Ohm to be able to have my little Ohm gallery thingy, and he was waiting for me to make it happen. I was like, bro, it's I really want to do it. I'm a big on cyber stan. I'm a huge fan. But I was like, damn it, it takes so long between my counterparty wallet and the ETH wallet and adding them all by one and making them clean and nice.
By the way, I don't know if you guys heard, but we support Delegate Cash, right? So you don't have to connect your wallet natively anymore, which is great.
That's sick.
And we're going to have Web2 support, as Rayan mentioned. So, the idea, guys, is we got to expand our circle jerk, right? Our echo chamber of, how many ever billion
we
users
got to expand the circle jerk,
right?
Quote of the day.
That's the key. That's the key.
I like that. I'm gonna quote you on that. We got to expand our circle jerk, and you're absolutely right. We try to do it every day, but we're still an NFT project, but we're trying to expand outside of the space on a daily basis. Bharat, thank you so much for coming today. I know it was a very, very last minute type of call out on the timeline. I didn't even ask you guys; I just straight called y'all out on Twitter, say, "Hey, come on the show." So really appreciate you and your insight at all times. In the space, and good luck with everything you're doing on cyber. We're definitely rooting for you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. And I saw you guys are trying to hire someone for growth marketing. So if someone, I saw Bharat, he put a tweet out. If someone's, this is, by the way, this is not partner, no ad, nothing. I'm just saying, like, if someone's looking to work for a dope fucking company in the space, because I know we say, hey, some things are not right, whatnot, but there's companies that are sick. I know they're hiring out there. So that's someone I definitely, a company I definitely support a fuck ton here. But anyways, we do have the fair crew here. So we're going to push some of the time. We're going to keep this conversation going tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. It's a good day for this stuff. We'll talk about Artifact. We'll talk about Vultura's tweet from last night, which pretty much said, hey, what about I give ownership of the project to DAO, and then took it back 3 minutes later saying, it was just an idea. Oh, you weren't there? You guys didn't see that? You guys were sleeping. It would happen during the night show.
Yeah.
He tweeted, I would be open to transferring ownership, leadership, and IP of Psychedelics Anonymous to DAO, who then could do what they wanted with the project, including launching a token if they decided. We could carry out all of our pending items, book, trade drops, merch, etc. Wild idea, but since a lot of people feel the project needs different direction, it can really only be achieved by a different strategy. Which he then deleted. Wow. And said, it was a suggestion, this project's community say, and I've been asked to consider the options presented. Sorry, I'm not stepping back from PA. Obviously, response was negative. Copy that idea is grabbed. But it was like 2 minutes later. Yeah, it was funny because we were on the show like this on YouTube last night with Thread IDs and Sobi, and then everyone on the chat was going crazy in the YouTube, like, check PA. We're like talking about art. And like, they were like, check it. Like,
I think founders should be allowed to say that sort of stuff if they really feel like that's needed. But at the same time, that cannot be done if you've basically FOMO'd your
collections
holders into like a promised utility direction that you were gonna present. Like, that's when it's really, really wrong. Like when Satoshi did it, I thought that was kind of okay. Like, he didn't really overpromise or anything.
Satoshi promised nothing.
But then when he did his open edition, that's
different.
That's not how you should do it.
Yeah.
But like, if you can't have projects which are basically promised and hyping, right? Hyping the world, and then when it doesn't quite work out, is on you guys.
The reason I don't feel bad here is because he literally invented the whitelist grind.
Like, yeah, well, the hype was insane,
and it was like, if you don't have, and so like, I would feel bad in any other situation, but I don't feel bad once you've made like 8 figures. That's where I personally stop feeling bad for people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't feel bad. It's like, you put the tweet out, you deleted it. Don't delete the tweet. Never delete the tweet. You know, I don't know. It's always a dangerous road when you go down that route. Been there. Definitely been there, definitely done that. It definitely doesn't help to delete because once it's tweeted, there's always a way to get it back. And there's people screenshotting all these like new like news, like DGen network type pages, right? That will like screenshot and immediately repost. That's what happened. So like if you look up like his name and that's how I found the tweet. I just had to search and it's there. Like literally look, boom. It's right there. Like third result in the search tab. So dude, there's a lot going on. I guess we'll talk about more of it tomorrow on the show. But definitely want to go over the artifact stuff, which I thought was like interesting fun when the sneakers are actually fire. But I understand again there was a communication stuff happening there. And we've also discussed that. We had the same takes that we had today about doodles and whatnot. And then it's just like all around, like there's just so much happening at the same time. And I think a lot of projects are just like, do you think maybe, and I'm going to get to Fire in a second, but do you guys think that just a lot of founders like just don't have the steam anymore? Like they were in it during the first year and a half. It was all like fun. It was up only. Everyone's making a ton of money. And now that their perhaps personal portfolios are down, and on top of that, like their projects and their holders, in the sense they've just lost steam. Like they just don't got it anymore.
Yeah, I think that's partly it. I think people believe in a lot more hope during bull markets, right? Like you can feed a lot of hope to people and people love it. And in bear markets, it just doesn't really hit.
Like I understand it's like even like it's hard in a bear market to be an investor. It's really hard in a bear market to be a founder because you have a bunch of people in the NFT space that like rely on you as well. And it can get very like there was times where when ETH was racing down to like around 800-900, like it got really bad on the timeline. But at the same time, like I don't see you guys running out of steam. I know I'm friends with you guys and we're really close and all that. It's always root for y'all, but at no point did I see you guys like. I mean, your project only went to zero last year, 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago. I don't see you guys saying we're out, or I don't see you guys. You just banked $10 million, 6,000 ETH in NFTs. I don't see you guys slowing down. As a matter of fact, I think I've seen more of Ovi in the last couple of weeks. I mean, except for that week you went to Dubai, but technically it was working there. But like, I see a lot of you guys. Like, I don't even in the background. I see you showing up. Like, I don't know. Like
the thing about Rap Radio, which is good for us, but also difficult for us, is you kind of have to show up publicly basically every day. And
if we didn't have a radio, we'd be gone. All right.
I'm not saying that we'd be gone, but it's easier to have
the red guy success.
DGen network, get it.
DGens, you heard it. You heard it here first. The DGens and the red guy success is because of Rug Radio. You heard it here.
It's fire.
I'm just saying it's easier for people to feel like we're present all the time because we're doing the show every day. But at the same time, we're also going through the effort of doing the show every day. And it is like 2 hours out of our day, right in the middle of the day for us. So
we just said that community and community building is the main stuff. Like, yeah, this is one of the main community building things that I think any founder can do. Showing up literally publicly every single day, talking about the market, talking about what's going on. I think founders are missing a trick by not doing it. Like all the founders that people consider the most successful are the founders which show up, other than Gaga and Gordon, who are a little bit more reclusive. But other than that, like the founders that everyone perceives to be doing the best at the moment are the ones that are perceiving, and that's just happened naturally with us because we were just boring and wanted to talk about the market. But
yeah, I don't know. I feel like you're right though about like having to host every day, 5 days a week, like keeping you on your toes and having to show up. Because there's some mornings where you're like, but then you got to do it because there's no choice, and we're not going to stop. Plus, we have partners, sponsors, whatnot. So it's not like you can just say, hey, I don't feel like hosting today, so you know what, like fuck your thing, right? So it's just like there's a bunch of like things that that hold you, keep you on your feet and hold you accountable. But
I'm gonna give you your flowers now. Like, you show up every single morning and every single evening, plus on the weekends, plus you're probably on other shows every single, like, I don't know, hour or so, and people still come at you. Like, it's mad for me to think that happens. Like, it's absolutely mad.
It's tides will change. Tides will turn. there's a rebalancing going on in the space. It's just funny because we're out here supporting all the founders. We're out here buying their NFTs. We're out there investing in their projects, and we're not seeing that much of that love on the other side. And then you're seeing us just kind of forming our own little crew and just going at it and building it. I think it's an interesting dynamic. I'm trying to stay neutral here most times when I host, because we report the market, the news and whatnot, and people do sometimes, whether we want or not, make decisions based off that. So we got to be careful with it. But it's just look, pay attention to the people doing the damn thing. There's a flush out happening here. I think that's what Bharat kind of said here. He said it's the rightful flush out type. I don't know if he used exactly those words, but it's happening. Right. So pay attention. We've been seeing it for over a year. We didn't even name names ever. And we didn't say even look at our shit. It's just just look around you. It's kind of getting even more and more obvious. I appreciate people at Nick and Peel this morning, where my team reported in Discord that they were giving us their flowers for the same reason, saying we're one of the only companies actually posting our financials and everything in public, and still showing up bi-weekly for a town hall. Even that, why is it so hard? Actually, to the Kevin Rose's defense, they do the proof in Parliament still very often. Most project founders stop doing that shit. Why? Because you think you're better than your community to talk to them? These are the things that, to me, there's no fucking excuse. No founder is better than the community, and no founder is better than coming on Discord and talking to their people as well. We need to expand beyond our circle jerk, Bharat Cremo. And with that, I do want to say I'm going to get to fair right now, because we're doing some really fun. Hang tight, everyone. You're not going to want to miss this. Trust me. You're not going to want to miss this free mint. It's going to be pretty funny in a second right now. I think they just posted. But yesterday on the show, we had Buster. Was it Monday? I forgot. Or Tuesday the day before yesterday. Anyways, we announced our partnership with Fair. The thread is posted at the top. And from next week on, we're going to have it's not with Fair, with Sorare. And then from next week on, we're going to have our own league going on, and we're going to be giving a fuck ton of EPL tickets, NBA tickets, and a bunch of other cards and whatnot. But there's a link in there pinned at the top where you can start making your team and whatnot. I'm pretty sure you get free cards when you sign up at the beginning. And also the code today, rug.fm/rewards. You have to be a Rug Radio Genesis membership pass or PFP holder, is chaos. 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 Why? Well, we're about to find out in a second. I'm going to pin Fair's tweet as well. We have the Isaacs behind the account. What's up, y'all? Good morning. How you guys doing?
Let's go!
I can't.
How long do you reckon they've been waiting for that?
They've been waiting for an hour and 40 minutes.
Kevin had his finger on the button for ages.
I'm telling you.
Man, these guys are funny. Speaking of founders who really fucking shit,
Yeah.
and speaking of founders,
extra reject DJs here.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. You're talking about projects promising the world. Well, we have that today. This is it. The biggest drop in the history of the NFT.
It's game over.
Utility. Hey guys, don't put me in trouble now, okay? Because it's not it's never Ovi and Mando eating shit. It's me. But hold on. It is a free mint, and it is in celebration in honor of the end of our 1 month partnership and collaboration. Which, by the way, don't be sad. We're going to be working with Fair all year long, given Stubbs is literally about to launch. But we are... So in honor of the last week that we're working with Fair on the Gem Web3 show, we are doing a free mint. And that idea 100% came out for sure out of Fair's side, because they're the funniest MFers in the space. They come up with a lot of funny ideas. I wonder who came up with it. Must be something cooked up by Iona in the back, because she's fucking hilarious.
She is here.
I gotta say, I love Iona. I think she's hilarious. And so introducing Mando Lisa, Ovi Lisa, and Farouk Lisa, free limited edition NFT for 24 hours only. Now, mind you, you have to pick one of the three of us, I believe, right?
No, you can mint 3 if you want to, but it's a bit peak if you mint 3. I mean, people can support all of you if they want to.
But should have been a competition to see who gets the most mints.
Competition to see who gets the more mints.
I will be mind blown. If
Ovi Lisa hits just a different level.
I'm telling you, I don't know. Talking about AI, man, Joe, we got the AIs on full steam to produce these photos. This is we have to basically cut down OpenAI for about 3 weeks just to produce these images.
Hold on, I gotta zoom the fuck into Ovi's. I can't. It's so hard on the screen to zoom in. But anyway, so there's the pin at the top is the link link to mint the Farouk Lisa, then the Mando Lisa, and then the Ovi Lisa. And it's all free, by the way. So we're not trying to like, get something out of y'all. There's no promise to any utility. And I'm gonna let the boys talk about it. It's not like, it's not a thing where you can expect to be part of the Rug Video Eco or Fair Eco or DGens Eco or whatnot. But we just thought it would be super funny to go out on a bang with chaos with someone. You forgot the lobes on Mando. That's pretty true. But I gotta say, Ovi's is the funniest. But we figured we go out with a bang and something really funny, especially with today's like so hardcore, right? But guys, I mean, the Isaacs, first of all, I do want to say thank you on behalf of myself, Gem Web3, Rug Radio, Mando, Ovi, because you guys have been really fun partners to work with all month. It's been a blast. I'm definitely gonna miss the headlines at the beginning and whatnot. But stay tuned, hang tight, because we're gonna be launching stubs shortly after this. It's gonna be fucking sick, that's for sure. But Isaacs, do you want to quickly talk about, before we get into Fair and a few other things, you want to talk about this Mona Lisa project?
I think get some music out.
Yeah, so listen, guys. I mean, look, for us, obviously want to celebrate the end of the sponsorship. We want to do something fun, something to really show off a lot of the new features which we're basically enabling for creators. So this is actually the first drop happening on Fair, which requires a range of different Twitter conditions. So instead of having to have like some sort of pre-mint style thing beforehand, you can do everything live on one single mint page. And the only way to mint this is that you have to basically follow Rug Radio, the host. And for us, we're just playing about and trying to do something fun. So also what's cool is that we basically connected it with Shopify, like shout out to the blockchain team there. And you can basically claim a free tea. Well, not a free tea, but you can basically a cost of a tea, freshly drop shipping. So I have no idea what the quality is going to look like. But you know what? We wanted to provide the hottest utility in the game. So
did you guys go with the cheapest tea on AliExpress?
Mate, we're talking that high GSM. We're talking the freshest Gildan t-shirt you've ever seen. Forget Artifact. I'm telling you, this is the creme de la creme of NFT garments happening here right now. I'm telling you.
I'm trying to do it live on video, but the problem is it's not fair. It's actually MetaMask rugging, and I would have to restart my browser, but I can't restart it. It would make me quit the show on YouTube, so I can't. So yeah, I think we've broken it. I think a few people I think a few people are having that issue. I think we broke your shit. I think because we said free mint and people expected something. Oh wait, someone managed Freed Seed. Of course, Freed Seed managed to. He's so funny. And so
the idea, we have zero expectation for this mint, but we just want to do something fun. And we're interested to see who is the favorite host. So, really rep your host and let's see.
Rep your host.
If we go for NFT NYC, if we see anyone wearing this t-shirt, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm telling you now.
I reckon everyone needs to wear it at the next conference. Like NFC Lisbon, everyone should be wearing these t-shirts. That's it. That's the CTA. That's the utility. Wear it at the fucking conference.
Look at Ovi's face. You guys should join us on YouTube, not gonna lie. This is so funny.
So we've actually decided, as a special, we thought we'd bring on the host fresh from the Louvre to talk a little bit about the art, in more detail. So I'm going to bring on the chief curator from the Louvre.
Oh, really?
Oh, bonjour. I would like to tell you a little bit more about the Mando Lisa, also known as the Michael. This is the biggest mint in the history of NFTs. Do not miss out. The fuck?
Wow. No words.
Like everyone in the YouTube chat is fucking dying of laughter. The comments are so fucking funny too. And,
I'm crying. God. Someone just minted 20. It's actually
my god!
bonkers.
Just so you guys know, like it's a free NFT, but it is a $20 tee if you're trying to get it. But you don't have to get the tee either. But it's so funny. I'm getting all three. I'm getting.
Yeah, it's just having some fun. We just want to do something really fun, and like we thought that the Mando Lisa had such a good ring to it. It's sort of, I think next there's going to be the Formula One team. I think Mando Norris has to make an appearance.
Mando Norris.
We could do a whole series. We want getting runs done.
Oh my god, that's so funny. There's been 44 Ovi mints, 44 Farouk mints, and 30 Mandos.
Yeah, I've actually bought the Mando t-shirt, so you never know. But yeah, it's going to be funny. Mando's in the lead as we speak.
Oh,
51.
Mando's
the question is it the art? Is it his market report? No one knows. No one knows.
In the words of Mando, they're so bad, they're good. Mr. Crip says, "Lol, for fuck's sakes." And by the way, Hefner, some people, if it's not working, it just worked out for me. I think like we just sent a lot of people all at once on it, but it's working. Just refresh your shit. But it's working now. There you go. Yeah, it's working for me as well.
Yeah, it could honestly completely break. You know, this is basically experimental conditions to buy around Twitter conditions. We thought, you know what, this is the best way to show the community about what we're doing.
Oh my
God. And what's awesome,
so
right?
Talk about it. Like, so talk about that, right? Like you guys are like, we've been talking about conditions to buy every morning almost, like when we present Fair and your product. I said even yesterday, I mentioned that I minted the KAIDTA free mint using the conditions to buy because I'm a holder, and I was like, look, like again, I minted on Fair, and again my experience was seamless. And I mean that I was using you guys' platform before I even knew you guys, because I met you guys through OSF and Mando. But you know, like what are like for someone to put something like this, like do you want to talk about how they can and how easy it is? Because it's actually like super easy for someone to put something like that for their own shows or for their own like endeavors and whatever they're doing.
So for us, I think, you know, there's a few things we really want to do with Fair. First of all, we want to bring the fun back to Web3. I think this is, you know, talking about what you were discussing earlier, Farouk, you know, we want to bring the next generation of consumer experiences and allow creators to do the craziest drop mechanics ever, which is something which is really, really exciting for us. So I think, first of all, you know, with Twitter conditions, we hope it's going to unlock a whole new range of different drop mechanics. In fact, right now on the platform, you could launch an NFT where the only way to be able to mint it is you must not follow someone, which is just fucking crazy. Like, it's something like this has never really existed before. And we've got some other crazy Twitter conditions coming out. You know, for example, you must have a certain emoji or word in your name or in your bio. And we think this is going to unlock a lot of other creativity. The second thing, which is why we decided to launch these Twitter conditions to buy, is because, you know, a lot of emerging artists, you know, one of the key things they need with their art is discoverability. You know, they really want, you know, to find the right buyers for their art. So that's why I think this week we basically launched this feature that after you mint, you can basically share love on Twitter with the artist to really help the discoverability. But we hope that these conditions to buy help creators incentivize the behavior which they want. So I think it's going to be crazy. And we hope that this makes it really easy. You don't need to use any other tools or have any sort of code, like any sort of coding experience. You can just come onto Fair and launch whatever you want. So we're really, really excited about that. But yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Why are you laughing? What's going on?
Because it's so funny, bro. Because this is actually so like, not only is this funny, but like you guys are really good at playing into memes. That's something I like about your team. And
we like memes. We really do.
You know how to play into them. But what's funny is just, I can't stop laughing at Ovi's fucking thing. Like, I mean, Mando and I are like, whatever, we look like the actual Mona Lisa. But Ovi, I mean, you the mustache. I mean,
It's scary.
We actually, it's funny you said that, Farouk, actually, because we actually got someone here from Christie's to talk about the visual aesthetics.
Okay, so let's hear about it. Yeah, what does Christie's think about this?
Good evening, gentlemen. I would just like to tell you a little bit more about the visual aesthetics of the Ovi Lisa. The subject of the painting is a beautiful man, believed to be Ovi, a silly degen from the depths of London, United Kingdom. With soft smile and glistening gaze, have captured the hearts of art enthusiasts for centuries and continue to do so to this day. The painting features a half-length portrait of the man, which is depicted with his hands delicately placed over one another. I highly recommend that everyone goes out and buys them in today. Thank you so much from the team here at Christie's. See you later. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Do you know her? Who was that?
I don't know if the Fair team is I don't know if the Fair team is seeing me on YouTube. I just can't handle it. You guys come back. I'm sending you guys the stream, the restream. Get over here. Join the YouTube. This is so funny. So the people are asking. So I sent you guys a StreamYard if you want to come behind the scenes with us. But if you well, my literally my face hurts right now. Literally my face hurts at the moment. This is so funny. I can even see Jazz. He's in the back end studio dying of laughter. Okay, so 1 second. So not only is this endorsed by Christie's, this is going to be exhibited at the Louvre, it seems.
That's what I'm saying. Who knows what other guests we're going to get on the show?
hold on.
That's
So
it.
someone is asking me right now in the chat. So let's get serious for a second. How do I get to mint these? So it's very simple. Pin at the top of the Twitter Spaces. I've already shared it to YouTube, but you could go on the Twitter Spaces to find it, or fair.xyz, or did I retweet it? And if not, I already shared it. So I already retweeted it as well myself.
Follow us, though. That is the question.
You know,
that is the question.
So you have, so it says conditions to buy. So each one of them, that's the point of like the conditions to buy that we've been promoting with Fair for the month, is that you can set mint requirements, right? So for example, if you want to mint mine, you have to follow Rug Radio, Fair, myself, and retweet the tweet with my Mona Lisa. But let's say you were to launch your own project, you could change all these conditions. Like you can make follow someone or not follow someone, or you could do this and do that. And there's a bunch of different things. So it's the same thing for all of us. So far, it seems like there's 93 Farouk Lisas minted. There are 123 Mandos.
Let's go, Mando!
And then there's 99. Well, I am losing at the moment. Mando left. He actually left the stream. Loxley, we replaced him with Loxley. And why am I even sharing me on here? Let me share you guys. And Mando is in the lead by a lot right now. Mando
That was
is
a mic drop walk off right there.
That's what it was. There you go. But we're gonna clip that. But you know what? That is hilarious. Fair team. I sent you guys the YouTube. Come to StreamYard. Come to video.
Okay.
Go out with the bang, boys.
Did we go YouTube?
Come on,
Let's
go out with the
You're
bang,
going to see the
boys.
whole team in the background.
Come on,
loose.
come on. Let's see your
Everyone's
team.
very loose right now.
So we've hired this designer who's like ex Nike, and he's never been so humiliated about what company he's joined.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
Is the designer called Midjourney?
He's got his head down. And he,
Love this.
The designer is called GPT-4.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Someone said.
hold on. Isaac's joining.
Someone said won't mint out unless you change the meta to expose Mando's lobes. Still time. NFA DYO.
Okay. Listen. No promises. But you never know. Maybe it's the next checks. No, I'm joking.
Oh my
It's
God.
only a bunch of fun. No, but I have no idea how people are going to use these Twitter conditions. All right, we're joining. This is it.
Oh my days.
Wait, Mando, turn the other way around.
Wait,
Other way, no,
hold
other
on.
way, like that.
Oh, there's going to be that eternal echo of Farouk's laughter. Oh my God.
This is so funny.
Hold on. Let me just check if the Christie's team are okay with being on camera.
Oh my God, guys, my head literally hurts right now from this. I'm like,
The Louvre and the Christie's team had to leave, unfortunately, but it's a shame. They sent their regards. They said, really, it's a good mint and buy it. And I've got 100 of echoes on your phone going on right now.
Oh my
I don't know
gosh.
what's going on.
How many do we think? How many do we think is going to get minted out here? Well, like, what do you think is peak mint?
No, if you hold on before we go there, if someone in the comments accurately is the most accurate person, I will give him a PFP from Rug Radio.
Shit!
So if you can guess accurately, like how many you have to put OSF, Farouk, and Mando, and I won't you don't have to be pinpoint, but it's a 24-hour mint. So if you get the accurate statement, I will give you a free PFP. But by the way, you have 4 minutes to put your bets in because after this it's unfair. So you have until noon to put your bets in, and I will go back to this, and I will give a Rug Radio PFP to someone in here. But dude, this is hilarious. I love this conditions to buy thing that you guys have dropped, and I think it's so fun. I love that you guys are just having fun, but at the same time shipping some cool product. And I love that you guys have joined us on the YouTube stream. So if you're on Twitter Space, so definitely, wow, OSF is at 260. Yo, what the hell?
That's Iona. Hello, Iona.
Iona! Iona, get over here.
She's minting right now. She's live minting.
She's running all the bots to mint
How
out.
are you guys seeing 269? This is not up to date? It's going faster than I think because it says 130 here, but the chat is saying, oh no, they're guessing. Okay, they're guessing. Okay, so
Mando's in the lead. Mando's like flying. Every time I refresh, it's just Mando.
I'm telling you why.
199.
Let's go!
There's an interesting thing going on here with the retweets, though. Every retweet is just going to get bigger and bigger. So I have no idea.
I just can't stop laughing because every time I look at my screen, I just see the Ovi Lisa, and it's just.
I tell you what's crazy. The famous thing about the Mona Lisa is that whatever you look, whatever angle, it looks at you back, and it somehow has miraculously worked with these pieces.
Yeah, it has. Ovi's looking at me from wherever I'm looking at him.
You know what Mando's one reminds me of? You know that guy in that Ghostbusters film where you have that like portrait of that guy?
I think I look like Harry in that photo.
Yo, put your guesses in on. Please put your guesses in on Twitter Spaces link at the bottom right of the space, not on YouTube because I can't go back to both of them. So I see a lot of people guessing, and I really appreciate you guys participating. Put them under the Twitter Spaces because I want to go back and be able to give some PFPs out to you guys. But speaking of PFPs, I mean, you guys were giving 5 Corey Van Loo Rug Radio PFPs away to people who will use conditions to buy within the month. What's up with that? What's up with that, boys?
Oh, come on. We have seen a whole range of creativity coming from the drop of this. We've seen people making derivative projects, generative AI art. We've seen membership passes. We're going to give it one more day because one more day left of the sponsorship, guys. Don't forget, this is it. You know, we're squeezing out every penny. Every penny.
One more day of this.
Out here, he's not going to be doing a little GM to fair tomorrow on the Friday show.
It's actually going to feel super weird on Monday. It's always like that when we have title sponsors. We had Uniswap in the past. We've had a couple others. Now you guys. And when it's done, I'm just like, well, I have to change my script now.
But it's never going to be a special for Rock. It's never going to be a special. That's it.
It's definitely never going to be as special as fair. But that's why. I mean, listen. That's why you got to renew. You know, you got our wallet address. I love the transparency in which we operate. It's like straight up, like, yo.
I don't find these on OpenSea. How do I find these?
You can't find them on OpenSea yet, right?
No,
or,
You can.
I mean, why would you go buy it on OpenSea? It's free.
No, I just want to look at them.
It's got a little feature where you can click on the OpenSea link from within the collection page.
I found it. Look, that's how you do it. So you go to share screen, Mando Lisa, let's say, and then you go to
how many have been minted total now?
Should we go checks on this and add massive loads to Mando's Lisa? Just humongous loads.
So Mando, you can see here on Fair itself. So you're at 205.
205.
Ovi is at 146, and I'm scared. I'm at 165.
Oh, decent.
Farouk looks like the sort of girl that you fancied at primary school.
Honestly, I look fucking terrible in this. This is like straight up like ugly, and that's what's funny. It's so ugly, it's funny. But I have to say, my favorite is. I mean, Mando, you look so serious. You actually look like that IRL. Like this is you with long hair. But Ovi, can we just discuss? I mean, I'm trying to. There you go. Oh no, I broke fair. Hold on, no, I didn't break fair. But I'm trying.
Wait, let's see. Here we go.
The best thing was that we needed over 50 photos of each of you to make this work. So then Jack was like, how the fuck are we going to get, all of these photos of you? So we just ended up taking loads of screenshots from your YouTube. So yeah, thanks for that. Otherwise it would look really shit.
How the t-shirt fit? In my opinion, if this is a drop shipping tee, it fits true to size, but do order one size up because it will shrink.
I checked out Iona's descriptions on the t-shirts. So if you actually go to FairX White, so if you see the link at the bottom there.
Oh my God. The Ovi Lisa, also known as Lovi, is a masterpiece painting by the legendary, let me read it in the French accent, right? The Ovi Lisa, also known as Lovi, is a masterpiece painting from the legendary team at Fair XYZ. The iconic work of art is an oil painting of the poplar wood panel measuring 77 cm by 53 cm, 30 inch by 21 inch for the Americans, and was created 3 hours ago. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole thing. The subject of the painting is a beautiful man, believed to be Mando.
Small typo here.
Go on the My Shopify link. That's what I want you to see. This is it. This is where all the heat is.
Have you ever bought from Palace before?
No, not here. Where?
Oh my days. No, on the right.
On the description. Right, there we
go. There you go.
Wow, look at
this
that.
limited edition GMWeb3 merch is only available to buyers of the corresponding NFT. Talk about utility. I mean, this free NFT. Yeah, this NFT has quite the utility. Some people are saying Ovi's going to end up at 1,002, Mando 1,221, and then me 1,122. Some people are claiming we're going to 587, 889, 612. Everybody has Mando winning by landslide.
Rumor has it this is how the future revenue splits at GM Web3 are going to happen. That's what I'm hearing.
The opposite. The opposite.
Rumor has it we can all rug our respective projects and retire on the Mona Lisa t-shirts.
This is our open edition quit move.
Dude,
right?
these actually look decent. Are those the Gil Dan quality drop shipping ones?
Mate, we don't stinge out at fair. I'm telling you, we've gone for the
Like the next rec show, everyone's going to be wearing these, aren't they?
Look at this. You're GMing. You're GMing too close to the sun. Stop buttering me up. Classic fit, I'm pretty sure. 100% cotton, 0% Farouk's hair follicles. It's drop ship, so quality could be shit, but it's the vibes. It's unisex. Farouk, Lisa, Farouk. And you have to obviously connect your wallet and in Shopify, it's safe. Don't worry, they're using a Shopify Web3 integration over here. Shout out to Shopify for that because that was a good one. But dude, I can't wait. I'm definitely buying the Ovi and the. You know what? It's gonna be my t-shirt. I'm gonna wear them on the show.
Yes.
So they look back at you while we're hosting. Oh my god, this is so jokes. I've
turning this into a brand, guys. Is this more than an NFT project already?
I'm telling you, no. In banter aside, I think for us, we just want to bring a lot of fun to the space, and I think this is what's going to help us, do cool stuff. And like ultimately, it's showing our product as well. So I think we're trying to think really differently about how we do marketing. Whether it was the Minter token we did with OpenSea, which was like this crazy 3D mint we did, which was soulbound, one of the largest production soulbound NFTs. This is just a bunch of fun. And I mean, the stuff we've got coming up with big brands and other players in the space, we think it's going to continue to provide cool consumer experiences. And yeah, hopefully people can appreciate our hustle. We're just, really just trying to do something special for everyone. And that's what we're about. And we're working extremely hard, hence why my hairline has been receding at aggressive rates.
I think it's been receding for a while.
Yeah, exactly. So, this is it. And that's why we're really appreciative to have partners on the show. And it does make us sad.
So sad. So sad.
This is the end. This is it.
We can come back anytime, guys. Now that we are iconic bet.xyz mints, I think you can come back anytime.
I mean, we are kind of launching a product together.
We'll
be back.
When Stubbs, everyone's
we're not shelving Stubbs, though a lot of people seem to think so. But we're definitely not shelving that shit, and it's definitely fucking launching on our show and then on a bunch of other shows on the Rug Radio Network. But it's gonna be hella fun. But so you are gonna just hear a whole lot of fair. Sorry, I'm like, I think I've laughed. You know when you smile and your head hurts? Like I smiled and laughed so much in this Twitter space / YouTube / just show today that I'm like dying. So it seems like right now. By the way, so again, free mint is pinned at the top. It's in honor of the end of a partnership, a sponsorship with Fair and XYZ. You can get the Mendel Lisa, the Farouk Lisa, or the Ovi Lisa. And the utility, well, there's no utility. You can buy a t-shirt if you want. And if you don't want to buy it, just don't fucking buy it, to be honest. But it's hilarious. At least get the NFT, because that's funny. That is literally, at least get the free mint, because I think gas is pretty low too.
I actually was, we had like some Jake Andrews, who's like one of our artists, came to the office today.
I have his work.
Oh my gosh, guys, it's incredible.
So they're going to have a beautiful one-of-one piece by Jake Andrews, like as a physical, and then we're going to have.
I have one downstairs. I have a huge one downstairs.
And this beautiful piece over here.
Okay. Big moves.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Oh, that's nice. I love
Mando
that.
Lisa, I don't know where there is.
I mean,
who are the bets on who's going to win this before this already happened? Because now there was some information
about. I don't know how many people are actually going to buy the t-shirt. Like, what will blow my mind is like if we're at NFT NYC and we just see an array of people wearing the Farouk Lisa running up to Farouk. Like that will be like fucking crazy to me.
That's the utility. The utility is everyone wearing it at the conference.
Imagine we do a meetup and like we have the next reg show, we have a bouncer at the door. You can either get in through token proof or you have to wear the Ovi Lisa to get in.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. If you pull up on us, I'll speak on behalf of all of us with those t-shirts. We're definitely gonna give you something. Whatever it is, we'll figure it out. But there's your utility. That's funny. Like I think that's hilarious. I'm a big fan of like of what you guys are doing. The OV floor price apparently is at 6.9 ETH at the moment.
That sounds free to me.
That's free. That's totally free, right? Definitely a free. Yo, OV's at 2% minted out already. Mando's at 2.41%. Dude, Mando, you are in the lead by a lot. It's clearly, it seems like you're the favorite of the show. Ovi, how do we feel about that?
Yeah,
I don't think that's true necessarily. You guys have way more followers than me.
Listen. I may
just
have
think
my
you
whole
missed
like
the
regular
24
thing
I don't
going
know
on,
why,
and Ovi's got his rec guy thing, one stuff going on. But you seems like you're the favorite, man. Like you're the favorite. All this time you thought you were not the favorite.
Yeah, dark horse right at the end.
The market has spoken. The market has spoken. We need one of one.
I do think if the floor price hits 1 ETH, you've got to change the metadata to the lobes.
I mean,
if we start to see 1 ETH trades, the lobes. Actually, maybe slightly lower. Let's say half an ETH.
Someone said
actually that we may have to do an airdrop that if you own all three, you get the Loxley Lisa. This is it. Some say.
Oh my god, this is so freaking funny. I mean, it's just hilarious. I'm looking through Twitter right now. A bunch of people are posting theirs. If it's bugging at first, just like restart, it works out actually. Farouk and OSF don't moisturize their lobes. I mean, look at those lobes.
Engineers were telling us that like you should have done it about Mando's lobes, and I'm just like, what's going on? Was it just like Mando's lobes were on fire?
I love how your engineer was saying this. Yeah, the engineers in the back. We got these devs working on Mando's lobes. Side project.
Wondering why it's not working. It's probably spending too much time focusing on your lobes.
Wow, you guys got a full. Is that all your offices in London? That's all.
Yeah, we're so big. We have to get 2 offices. This is it.
I mean, it's tough. It must be tough having created 4% of all NFTs on Ethereum.
It's a lot of weight on our shoulders, and now it's probably going to be about 10% after this, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you've got the Mandem in the back, just working, bro.
The Mandem and that.
Rumor has it Butcher works in your closet.
I'm telling you,
that's it.
We got Banksy under the table, chefing up some fresh designs.
I heard Jack Butcher's has an office in the closet. I heard Banksy's working on the table. Like I heard, it's pretty wild what's happening over there at Fairdox. So
definitely, hopefully we come on the show in 6 months' time. You'll see the next level one.
You know what? No, we should come like just quickly tomorrow as jokes because obviously, when does the 24-hour stop?
There's no rules to this shit. Like we could,
we can make it 24 hours and a half. We can make it 25. But
I'm saying make it finish exactly when the show ends or something, so we could see.
It's done.
It could if it ends at 12. If it ends at noon Eastern Standard Time, I think could be jokes to see in the last few minutes. That way tomorrow morning during the show when we start the show, we could talk about it and have people try and see if they want to mint those. Those are free NFTs, by the way, y'all. Check it out. And it's been fun. I mean, look, 251 right now for the Farouk Lisa. We got 267. Ooh, I'm coming for you, Mando. For Mando and Ovi trailing. Oh my God, Ovi's winning. 275.
Oh, what?
Oh my God, Ovi is back on top. Yeah, he's got 275.
There we go.
Back on top. Hey, don't let me down. Last I checked, it says Rug Radio at the bottom right of this. Okay, don't let me down.
How happy Ovi is with that.
Don't let me down.
This is beaming.
I understand you guys all love the market report and everybody leaves once I start talking after the 30-minute mark. But don't let me down. Okay, don't let me. I understand Mando and Osef is smarter than me. They have quantitative brains, and I'm part of the Guild of Guardians. But don't let me down. I want to see y'all minting the fucking Farouk Lisa for free. But anyways. With that,
the price action from OpenSea is crazy. Like I don't think OpenSea has seen secondary action like this in a long time.
Yeah,
please don't buy these on OpenSea now. You can literally buy them, get them for free on Fair.xyz.
They're free.
They're free NFTs. How can I see the activity on? I can't find the.
There's none. I'll save you the trip. There's none. It's free. Just take it. You know?
Yeah, it's free. I cannot wait to play my NFTs.
0% listing rate. Like no one is listing the Mando
Whoa.
Lisa. They're holding on to dear life in this piece.
It's fire.
I know what's up.
It is fire.
Blur, imagine this gets blur farmed.
Yeah, I mean that would be hilarious. Mando, I think you're on mute, by the way.
People know the Loeb airdrop is coming. That's the thing. They just don't want to tell.
I
They
think,
got
we'll
all
start
excited
with
after
that.
Arbitrum today.
I think we're getting comments. Everyone's trying to get the OV t-shirt. Say it's not working. But I think just refresh. We'll look at it. If something's not working, fair, we'll always fix it in real time. But saying this, Machi, it says, rumor, Machi already owns 50% of OV and Mando's supply. Wow, the jokes that are going to come out.
Apparently.
Oh my God, I can't with you guys.
Too much.
Oh my God, this is so funny. All right, I'm gonna have to put a tweet out on this. This is like one of the funniest things we've ever done on the show. I'm loving this. I'm having so much fun with it. Anyways, I've laughed too much. I literally have a headache from how much I've laughed. It's been a pleasure. It's been fun. It's 12:15. I just realized I think we all have got to run to our respective work. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that we didn't talk about today, like Arbitrum's token that was announced today, DGOD's ordinals tomorrow. And also the biggest news was honestly Fidelity, that stealth like drop that you can buy crypto for their people. 37 million users, mind you. So in the middle of all the FUD, there is some good things happening in the space. So we're going to push all this to tomorrow. Fair, Isaacs, the Isaacs per the YouTube links. It's always a pleasure to have you guys on. Thank you for bringing the laughs always and for partnering with us. We'll talk about it tomorrow again, of course. And you still have 24 hours to mint. I mean, tiny bit less, 23 hours and 45 minutes to mint the free Farouk Lisa, Mando Lisa, Ovi Lisa, which gets you access to a t-shirt that you got to pay for if you want it. It's cheap, but if you don't want it, you can also just keep the NFT because it's absolutely jokes. And with that, Loxley, shout out to Kudos Loxley, came in for the laughs at the end on the YouTube link. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe to the Rug Radio YouTube channel where we upload all of our shows. We actually host them all live. I will personally see y'all at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Comptoir Web3 for the French speakers. We'll also see y'all tomorrow morning, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and on Rug Radio Town Hall at 3 p.m. Like Amanda was saying earlier, I think I host a lot. I think I'm hosting 10 shows this week or 11. I do 8 minimum. It's 8 to 12 per week. But anyways, you'll see a whole lot of us. And with that, we'll see y'all tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for another episode of Gem Web 3 on Rug Radio. Let's go.
And it's a beautiful day.
Oh, that's so funny.
GM. On this beautiful day. Good morning to Web3. Barocco, Sep, and Mando. Tuning live at 10:30. And it's all on Rug Radio. It's a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. GM.
Rug Radio. Oh, wow. That was funny. Well, everybody stay on here for a second. I'm in this broadcast so we can all download your videos.